In 1935, Franklin Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act and made a promise to every working American. Work your whole life, pay into the system, and when you retire, the system will take care of you. For 90 years, that promise held well enough that most Americans stopped asking whether it would still be true when their turn came. They just assumed it would. Here is what the Social Security Administration's own trustees report says in plain language. The trust fund that pays your benefits is projected to be depleted in 2033. Not slowly reduced, gone, in 9 years. And when that happens, federal law automatically triggers a 23% across-the-board benefit cut for every single recipient. Not a possibility, not a worst case. The law as written. If you are 56 years old today, the system you are counting on is scheduled to pay you roughly 3/4 of what it currently promises the year you turn 65. This is not a political argument. It is a structural problem sitting in an actuarial report at the Social Security Administration that most Americans have never read. And it is going to affect your retirement more directly and more soon than almost anything else happening in finance right now. My name is Tom. I spend too much time reading documents most people ignore, including the actual trustees' reports and Congressional Budget Office projections that tell the real story. If you are within 20 years of retirement and have never looked at what your Social Security statement says or how the program's math actually works, subscribe and give this a thumbs up. By the end of this, you will understand exactly why the shortfall is structural rather than fixable through normal budget adjustments, and what specific decisions between now and retirement could mean the difference between absorbing a benefit cut and never noticing one. Start with the mechanics, because most people have a completely wrong mental model. The common belief is that Social Security works like a savings account. You pay in during your working years, your money accumulates, and you draw it out in retirement. This is false in a way that matters enormously. Social Security is not a savings account. It is a transfer system. The payroll taxes you pay today go directly to current retirees. Your retirement will be funded by workers who are currently in elementary school. The practical implication is that the program's solvency depends entirely on the ratio of workers paying in versus retirees drawing out. Think of it like a restaurant with a specific seating arrangement. Every table of workers covers the cost of one retiree's meal. That works when proportions are right. But imagine the retiree tables keep filling faster than new worker tables are seated. Eventually, each worker table cannot cover what it is assigned. That is not mismanagement. That is demographics. And demographics is exactly what is breaking Social Security's math. In 1950, there were 16 workers per beneficiary. By 2010, 3-to-1. Today, approximately 2.7 workers per beneficiary. By 2035, projections show 2.3. You cannot fix a demographic problem with better economic returns or political will. The baby boom generation is the largest in American history. 10,000 boomers retire every single day. The generations behind them are smaller. That arithmetic does not change. It just is. Now the trust fund. When Social Security ran surpluses through the 80s and 90s, the excess money was borrowed by the federal government and replaced with special treasury bonds held in the trust fund. The trust fund is not cash. It is I owe us. The government owes itself. As the system moves into deficit, those bonds get redeemed and Treasury has to find cash, either by borrowing more or cutting spending elsewhere. When the trust fund empties in 2033, The only money available is what current workers pay in taxes that year. Current projections show that covers roughly 77 cents of every scheduled benefit dollar. Hence, the automatic 23% cut. Here is where the psychology gets dangerous. Most people know Social Security has problems, but believe Congress will fix it before anything actually happens. This is not irrational. Congress has done it before. The last major reform was 1983, when Reagan and Tip O'Neill struck a bipartisan deal that raised the retirement age, increased payroll taxes, and made benefits partially taxable. It worked. But here is what is different now. In 1983, the depletion was 7 years away. Congress had enough runway for changes that phased in gradually. Today, we are 9 years from depletion. Every year Congress delays, the available fixes become more abrupt and more painful. Waiting until 2032 means whoever is in office has about 12 months to prevent a cliff-edge cut that triggers automatically by law.
History says Congress acts. History also says it waits until the last possible moment, which is exactly when the options are worst. Here is the case study. Carol is 59 years old. She has worked 33 years, earns $72,000 a year, and expects to retire at 67 with Social Security of roughly $2,100 a month, based on her statement. Her 401k has $190,000. She planned to draw around $8,000 annually from that, giving her total retirement income around $33,000 a year. Apply the 23% cut. Carol's monthly benefit drops from $2,100 to about $1,620. Annual Social Security income falls from $25,200 to $19,440. Total retirement income drops from $33,000 to roughly $27,000. To replace that lost $5,800 per year using the 4% rule, she would need an additional $145,000 in savings. She has 8 years until retirement. Saving an extra $145,000 in 8 years on top of normal contributions is not realistic at her income level. Carol is not a bad planner. She did what she was told. She built her plan on an assumption that is not guaranteed. Here is the 4-decision framework that gives you actual control. Decision 1. Claim at the right age. Every year you delay claiming after 62 up to age 70 increases your monthly benefit by roughly 6 to 8%. Delaying to 70 produces a benefit roughly 76% higher than claiming at 62. In a world of possible reductions, maximizing what you actually receive matters more than it did before. Run the break-even calculation against your health history and savings. It is the single highest leverage decision in your retirement plan. Decision 2. Know your real number. Go to ssa.gov tonight and create an account. Look at your actual projected benefit at different claiming ages based on your real earnings history. The number assumes you keep earning at your current rate until you claim. If you plan to retire early or have gaps in your work history, the real figure could be meaningfully lower than your statement suggests. Decision 3. Build a bridge account. A separate pool of money whose specific job is to cover living expenses between when you stop working and when you claim Social Security. If you retire at 63 but delay claiming until 70, you need 7 years of income from somewhere else. A bridge account makes delayed claiming possible without selling retirement investments at the wrong time. Decision 4. Run your retirement plan assuming the 23% cut happens. not as a doomsday exercise, as a planning baseline. If your retirement works with a reduced benefit, any congressional fix is upside you did not count on. If it only works with full benefits, you have transferred the risk of a political negotiation onto your standard of living. That is not a plan, that is a hope dressed up as a plan. 3 things to take away. 1. The 23% cut is not a projection or a political opinion. It is what federal law requires when the trust fund depletes, and the trustees' own math puts that at 2033. If you are within 20 years of retirement, this is a planning input, not background noise. 2. The demographic cause cannot be fixed by economic growth or better returns. The worker-to-retiree ratio is declining for structural reasons that finance cannot override. Congress can adjust formulas and tax rates. It cannot create more workers. 3. The most powerful response is neither panic nor denial. It is building a retirement plan robust enough to survive the known downside and treating any congressional fix as a bonus you did not build your life around. Roosevelt's promise was real. The system honored it for 90 years. The question for the next 30 is not whether it was a good idea, it is whether you are going to plan around what it actually guarantees. See you in the next video.